Good evening, and for some, I think good morning, good afternoon. Greetings from the proper winter here. It would be lovely if you're in a position to come into camera, and I will share some things which felt very relevant to the subject of intoxication. Is it Ravens? Is it the angels? Does it belong to Ram or Ravan? And some quotes that I found interesting. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "There is a happiness that makes us smaller, and a happiness that makes us greater." I wonder if it's always obvious for the self. Another wonderful insight, Leo Tolstoy. Pleasure is not happiness. It has no more in common with happiness than lightning has with sunlight. Very, very vivid image. And maybe my favorite here, this is by an English philosopher. He actually died in 1873, John Stuart Mill. And his insight, it is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig who is satisfied. Some food for thought. So great to see all of you, and looking forward to some insights about intoxication. And good evening to Prashant. Thank you.
Thank you. They are so deep in these messages. Hello and welcome. Nice to meet again. And here the weather is. You might hear the sound in the background. It is a stormy weather and lots of rain. It is nice. So let us create few minutes of attention, more like a reset. And the first step for us is to use the best intellect. And what happens with the best intellect? Our world changes. Story world is not our world. The alokik, that world becomes our world. Our family changes. And the self changes. The notion of the self itself changes. The invisible witness, this second invisible witness, he is seeing his world. With this best intellect, we can see the story world very clearly as a story. Very, very convincing, very sophisticated, and what a great performance. So big, but stone intellect can be deceived by this. In fact, stone intellect is deceived. It completely disappears in that story. That's why the first step for us is to use the best intellect so that story is seen as story. With this, the whole thing appears very small. The story itself appears small. And the clear boundary between the story world and our world. You can see the contrast, huge contrast. This world of light, it becomes our world. And this world is a ultimate prize anyone can ever win. To begin with, we are in the world of truth. This is not a story anymore. It's a real world. We see this in the region of light and color, but it is real. It may be silent, but this is the main world. This is the world that is eternal. Whole thing exists forever. There's no end to this world. Compared to the story world, everything ends, just disappears. This is the eternal world. Everything is eternal. Changeless, endless. This is the world with God. World of God and world with God. This is a world where there are no desires, no concept of desires, desperations, disappointments. No concept. That's why world of silent bliss, that is what remains. All stay in that silent happiness, silent joy. World where everyone is egoless and viceless. Ego and vices are based on the story. Here, everyone's starting position is egoless and viceless and sorrowless. This whole region is beyond harm. Nothing can harm this world ever. Not even the slightest harm. And the story cannot harm anyone. In the story, there are dragons, and in the story, there are villains, fires, and floods. But story cannot harm anyone, not even the slightest. are realizing that this world, in a true sense, is a world of perfection. There is perfection in everyone and everything. Perfection in the self and perfection in everyone. If they are viceless, egoless, sorrowless, desireless, world is free from Ravan. It is a silent world, but a world of perfection. We can say a world of silent celebration, because everyone is worthy of love and loving. It so happens this universe is naturally positive. They don't need anything to be happy. Happiness is just natural state of everyone. Love is a natural state. Universe is positive. All we have done is we are seeing it the right way up. The intellect helps us to see it the right way up. We use the wrong intellect, we see it upside down. We can't even see our world when we use the stone intellect. And we are realizing this is like the biggest prize anyone can ever win. And from here, we see the story. We see the story as story. And it is another gift for us. When we see that world as a story, it is a great story, great performance. When we ourselves are right way up, we see everything properly. When we are upside down, we get everything wrong. So now we are seeing story. In the story, there are a variety of plots and variety of characters. Everything is great, so rich. But it is a story. I'm not going into the story with a begging bowl. I need nothing from there. We see it the right way. And we know to let go. Story means that we know beforehand there is an end. Every episode has an end. We know it beforehand. Thank you. So we will come to our board. Feel free if you want to say anything or ask anything. Today our discussion is on the intoxication that we get and everyone would like some intoxication. Pursuit for happiness, that is like some countries have in their constitution, we will go for the pursuit of happiness. We don't need in the constitution. It is the natural instinct of everyone, every animal, every creature, to go for happiness. But as was said, when our intellect itself is stone intellect, we are helplessly trapped in this small story world. It is almost like the life of the ant is very different to the life of the bird. Ant cannot see the sky. Ant is locked into the ant world. And some sticky sugar there, some junk, that is its excitement. This is exactly what happens with us. When we are in this stone intellect, we are like these ants in this anthill. And there is happiness that is offered. Then ants have their excitements of some sticky sugar. You can see what is happening, the behavior. So also here there are excitements, and ordinarily that is the end of it. There is lots of happiness, and there are lots of progress and success, and you don't question it. But when we are seeing the bigger map, and as we often draw, when we see the big map, we realize there is a sky. And in the context of the sky, there is this amazing ant world. This whole story appears like an ant world. Just passing through that. And they have crossed this line. What is this line? Do you want to tell? What do we call this line? Dotted green line. What do we call it?
A line of ignorance?
Yes. So here is and once you cross that line, then it is like a delusion. You are upside down completely. But we are using this word, ignorance, very strong. As you don't know that you don't know. You are totally settled in that world. That has become your world. I am this. That's what we call Ravan. So today's discussion includes Ravan. That is, one side is Ram, and other side is Ravan. Would you like to tell what is the big difference between Ram and Ravan? So Ravan is in this world, in the ant world, and other side is Ram. What's the big difference, Ram and Ravan?
Difference in consciousness, levels of consciousness. One is viceless and one is with vice. Ram is the friend of the soul. One is in ignorance, one is in knowledge. Ravan has a huge ego and Ram has none. Good and evil. Big, little I and big I. So Ravan is small I, Ram is big I. One pure, other is impure.
In the Gita, it is nicely described. Stubborn in error, so that's something that is wrong, but stubborn, absolutely stubborn. In fact, we can use the word Ravan is embodiment of ignorance. Embodiment, which means you cannot change him. It is like not just stubborn, he absolutely believes, truly believes that way. He believes that this body is me and this is the world. Don't question it. Don't even use the word soul and don't use the word God. Deep inside, Ravan absolutely believes that way. Even if they use the word soul and God, but okay, soul is there, but body is me. There is no argument there. So, embodiment of bondage. First, embodiment of ignorance, and as a result, it is embodiment of bondage. He lives in a foreign world. This, what is shown here, the blue box, it is a foreign world. It's a story world. It's a temporary world. But Ravan absolutely lives in it, claims it. This is mine, and this is I, and this is creates desires, builds fancies, and puts his name shamelessly and senselessly. So that is Ravan. Ram is opposite. Ram is embodiment of knowledge, embodiment of truth. He absolutely not possible for him to even have the thought of not being in that supreme reality. It never occurs to him that he can claim anything in that foreign world. Clearly sees in that story world, the images come and images go. What a madness. He can sort of see it. So he remains embodiment of truth, remains embodiment of freedom, Jivan Mukti, gives Jivan Mukti to others. And as a result, embodiment of happiness, supersensuous happiness. He remains in that. The truth is already immensely beautiful. Just you are seeing it, living in it, then everything will follow. So that is what his life is. Supersensuous. It is happiness comes with friends. So his life is of full love, full bliss, full contentment forever. Ravan, just opposite. He lives in that bondage, stubbornly, in that foreign world, temporary world that is going to disappear. The story has episodes, story has ends. And he thinks this is me and this is mine, and lives in that story with the conviction, absolute conviction. No argument, don't question it, this kind of position. And so what is the end result? The end result is he has to create attachments. He is forever seeing himself as a victim. Everything that he believed and claiming, it is going to go. And he sees it going. And ego can be hurt by others. So he takes sorrow from there. So his life is of trying to address this victim. So he has to create more attachments and claim more things in that ignorance. That the world is insecure, world is unpredictable. But he's trying to become secure in that insecure world. Full life, working to to make himself secure. And he dies the death of a failure. Life is of constant victim and victim mentality. That is the life. And whenever the death of the body, death of the role, he sees it as a failure. This is Ravan's life. In the midst of this, he has intoxication also. He experiences love, and he experiences contentment, and he experiences intoxication. When does he experience intoxication? When any of his hates get some security, that is his intoxication. He's got 10 hates. What are these 10 hates? Do you want to tell in this language? What do we call these 10 hates? What do they have? What are they? And these Ravan's hate represent. What do they represent?
Addictions or vices, false identities.
Yeah, here we use this term, Ravan's hates for identities, different false identities, different ego. They are Ravan's hates. So those who have heard our discussion on identities, we have identity based on, say, job. It is in the story where we define ourselves. Someone may have identity, defines himself based on the car, consciously, subconsciously. They're taking his self-respect is based on those things, and maybe based upon the relation. I'm the father, I'm the husband, and based upon some skills you got. And so we have discussed this. Worth those who have not heard this, worth going through that. So these are all different hates. Number 10 is symbolic. These identities are more than 10. Ravan can create more hates. And all these hates, each hate sees itself as a victim. And any victim, you give him security of some kind, give him protection, there will be absolute intoxication. So this is exactly what happens. This hate of Ravan gets little praise, will get a little promotion, get each head has its own supply. If that head is not there, then intoxication won't be there. Like some people say, they tried smoking, for many, many months. They really, with friends, they tried smoking, but they never enjoyed smoking. Why does that happen? Because that particular high is not there. So they never enjoy cigarettes. That seed of that particular identity is not there. And if that identity is there, then you will have intoxication from that. So if there is a I based on the job, then you get a promotion, you get praise, you get some success in that job. It will create intoxication. If that identity is not there, then there will be no intoxication. So here, in this respect, we may be little different kind of identity we have created. Like one person said to me, when he had a child, first child, it is like taking a drug injection. He used this analogy. It's like taking an injection, morphine, into his vein in a full intoxication, lasted for many hours. How do you explain it? When he heard the child is born, he said it is like taking morphine, and that intoxication was for many hours. What is happening there? Child is born. Many others children are born every day on this planet. Some 200,000 children are born. So here, what is happening? Why that huge intoxication?
Well, it's his child, isn't it? So at a physical level, dopamine high. I guess the question is why.
Why dopamine went up with this news?
So there's some problem with Italian. Oh, Paola's dropped. Yeah, why the dopamine?
My child, okay, my child. Word so what? Why? There is also my many other things. My cat and my house, but in this case, my child. So why this intoxication?
Attachment to the child, the minus. He's totally identified with it. This child,
Identified with what?
with it as his child, identity of father is being fed.
Yeah,
Right.
what essentially it is, the identity based on the father, and obviously he's bringing it from the past life. There is an identity, I am the father, and that identity, soul is born with that identity. It is there inside himself, and all these years, that identity was bit starving. There is no child. So that identity is latent within the system. And then the child, my child, so I, the father, is now revived. It is like the given support. That identity is now made secure. Until then, he was like that identity was almost dead. Latent. And failure. That for identity is a failure. If you are having an ego that you are the president and the job is not there, then for that ego it is a failure. It is same here. For that ego identity in a father, it is I'm a failed father. This kind of latent identity inside, and some unhappiness will come as a result without him knowing why this unhappiness, because this identity inside is grumbling inside, complaining that he is a failure. And now child comes, that is like a full intoxication, just like someone who had lost the job of a president. Suddenly news comes, you are the president again. This identity is made alive again. It is made secure. And this is the intoxication. Even when someone is taking a drug, it is feeding some identity deeper inside. That is what creates that intoxication. If that identity was not there, just as the example we gave of cigarettes, same happens with many others. If that identity is not there, then there is drug, but it will not create the same intoxication. Now this is Ravan's game. What's wrong with all this intoxication of Ravan? It is happiness, yeah. It may be temporary, agreed, but it is happiness. What's the problem with Ravan's intoxication? Why are we making a big deal about this? It's a good start. Then later you can go to a spiritual intoxication. Let us start with some intoxication, some happiness.
Yeah, it's good to raise this question because something in us will feel like that for sure. But yes, there are penalties with this. It is ego-based, based on attachment, can be taken away at any time. They drain the energy. And then you want more temporary happiness. So it's a vicious circle. It makes the head bigger and then harder to remove and harder to experience true intoxication.
Yes, that is good. Yeah, one is it is ego-based, but other is it is a nourishment for the ego. When we hear this word alloy, there's alloy within the soul, alloy within the soul. Where did this alloy come from? Just as we need fire to remove the alloy, you need fire to bring in the alloy also. So this alloy comes in the soul with the intoxication. All these identities get bigger when there is the intoxication. That is the fire, Ravan's fire of yoga. Ravan thinks of it, more intoxication. And whatever the intoxication, it is like the alloy is increasing inside, and that becomes a block. All these identities, subconsciously, they are there in each and every person, and they are victim. Bigger the ego, bigger is the victim inside. Each identity is a victim and a beggar. So that beggar and a victim personalities are there under the surface. They will not allow you to be happy. Some kind of discontentment. You don't know why, but there is some kind of a heaviness underneath. Now and then it will emerge with some kind of problems also, some psychological big problems or small problems, disappointment, unhappiness, disheartenment, all these, because these are under the surface, hiding there. And the alloy, because it's alloy, you can't easily remove it. So this is like a Ravan's intoxication. Lust is one of this big department of Ravan. There is the intoxication, not just lust, just love, someone loving you. If it does create intoxication in you, it is also Ravan's department. Baba is not saying, oh, wow, amazing, you are experiencing love, that's great, song is very nice. No, it is Ravan's love and Ravan's intoxication, and it is creating an alloy inside. Human level, and that is. So now let us come to Ram's world. We said there is that department of Ravan. We need to know this, and making our life simple. That is like we should understand why Baba tells us certain lifestyle. Just to slow down this Ravan's camp, Ravan's department, and we want to remove Ravan. But to start with, we have to stop Ravan's Ravan getting bigger. Now come to the Ram's world. Every aspect of this world is an extraordinary thing. We saw right at the beginning, that here is the supreme prize, we said. The biggest prize is already in front of us. And we need to find a way to to direct our attention there. That is what our game is. So let us create some opportunity now to come in that experience. Before that, anyone want to say anything, or you want to ask anything?
I was just wondering, like, when it is very clear that the human-based love will involve Ravan. What if one soul is in a soul conscious state and experiencing love of the invisible actor, other one may be not experiencing it, the invisible actor, but they are mixing and it feels like role-based affection or love. So is that possible? And that scenario, any thoughts on that?
When we are saying Mr. So-and-so and at a drama level, it is almost always mixed at the present time. Soul-based is first we need that soul awareness. That's why Baba broadly says, forget the body, forget the bodily relations. Don't go there. First, get ourselves right. We first need to come on the other side of the line. And love is very, very important for us. Love. That's why Baba is coming here out of love. And golden age is the age of love also. But first we have to get ourselves right way up.
And I think as well, just for the self, like we use the word love, but it can come in the form of regard, like liking, preference, happiness of the company, a sort of affection. I mean, it's like, as you say, most very likely to be mixed because, so, just explore a little bit also for the self, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you.
So for the next few minutes, and I'm talking here maybe until the break even, we will come in the experience. And feel free to choose this time where there is some silence and you can concentrate, focus. If you want to lower the light, but whatever that is comfortable, so that you can concentrate better. That is more important during this time. Also feel free, if you need to close eyes, feel free. Try both. We'll see 4 steps in this practice. And step 1, I will give the overview of the 4 steps. Step 1 is, we call it a realization. We are just realizing, first of all, this is not a journey of Harry or Prashant or Tom. This is the journey of the invisible traveler. Completely different. All these Prashant and Harry, they are from the story world. And their world, their life is extraordinary life. Life is with God. This invisible traveler, his world is God's world. He is from that family. He is immortal. And that world is divine, Ravan free. So we can use the word divine. Eternal. We are seeing this extraordinary reality of this. This is step one. But we also know that at present we are not in that experience, and just the opposite. We are stubbornly into the Ravan's camp. The Ravan is in charge and embodiment of ignorance. So that's why it appears as if the story is our world. So we accept it. And we want to change it. And to change, we need to change the environment. If we are so caught in that story, then you are in the ant world, and that is not going to suddenly take us to the sky or help the eagles to fly. So first, our next step is to see the sky. We are using our attention to experience the sky. So this step 2, emphasis is attention. Attention is like a torch. You can direct it where you want. We got this function within us, attention. So we can direct attention. And we can direct this attention to our supreme home if we choose. Anyone, with knowledge, without knowledge, anyone can do this. It is almost like throwing a rope. You are connected to that sky. What an extraordinary thing. Anyone makes this attempt, it is very, very lucky. It's the first step from the ant world to the sky. So that is a step 2. With some concentration, you are seeing that sky. Step 3 is engagement. And by engagement, we mean you understood the sky. Yes, there is a sky and there is a vision of light and color. But engagement means that has become your world. You are staying there. You are seeing the details of that world. You are seeing the family there. So the details with certain focus, that is the engagement. In this step 3, there will be no thoughts of the story. Continuous experience of that dimension. That is step 3. Seeing the reality of it. Now that environment absolutely favors the soul. That is our aim, to shift from the ego perspective. Ravan is absolutely, that is me, that is the way Ravan is dealing with. That Harry has become I, in the Ravan's camp. So from there, the step 4, the soul wakes up and understands this is I. Not mixed with the story. Whole thing is separate. And he understands he is that invisible traveler. He is the invisible witness. So this is step 4. this shift is necessary. Only then there is spiritual intoxication. The spirit has to be conscious, unmixed. If there is mixture, Ravan dominates. Just like if there is a milk and even little poison, 1% poison, a person will get poison, and it will create damage. So in the same way, Ravan, even little Ravan, makes you, it blocks the experience. Spiritually, experience is blocked. Say here we start from where we are, but then the invisible soul wakes up and sees 100% clean perspective of the soul. This is the way. I might, as we said, we choose the environment that is comfortable. You will hear the words, but and you can choose your environment, but just hear the words, that is enough. Step 0 is we check our posture. Choose a posture that is comfortable. Also, comfortable environment. If there is option, no noise. We avoid multitasking during this time. That is step 0. Step 1, we use the word realization. We are just reminding the extraordinary truth of all of us. This is not some advanced tapasya. Step 1, we are reminding that this is the journey of the invisible traveler. He is immortal, very different to journey of any physical being. It is not a journey of Tom or Harry, the journey of the invisible soul. And he is from the family of God. And his world is eternal, very different, beyond. And he has a family, true family. And they all are noble and divine beings. It's as if they are divine royals. If someone coming from a royal family, they will be very special. In here, he realizes his family is divine royal. And all sin is eternal, and no one can change this. His region is region without desire and sorrow, and life of happiness, silent happiness. That is step 1. Step 2, we are using attention. Where we are, in that we and accept this, we are using attention to just come in this supreme home. Direct this attention to that home. Concentration is an important thing. throughout. And we all have concentration. So during this time, we are seeing this region of light and color in the image of the sky. Region beyond. Expands. And even as we hear the words, we hold on to this experience of light and color. Sky, a gentle red sky. Beyond the sky. We stay in this experience continuously for the next few minutes. Any gap, we come in that experience. Even as we hear the words, that experience continues. This region is timeless. We see the reality of this. It is not just a meditation experience. This is the home of everyone, the real world. In this sky are the living stars. We see them as tiny stars. This is the true family. They are conscious, they are souls, they are divine beings. Family. They are part of our eternal family. Silent bond. We are aware of this. They all are immortal. And they need nothing from anywhere. One is they need nothing and they know nothing can harm them at all. They are never beggars, never victims. That's why they are aware, they are like divine royals. All divine beings. And then what does that mean, divine? They are egoless, zero ego, zero Ravan. That means zero vices, zero ignorance, zero desires, zero sorrows. Ravan-free. Then life is of silent happiness, innocence. If anyone is so secure, they remain innocent, 100% innocent. No complications, childlike and godlike. All, always. World with God and world of God. God is the one who is always in this truth, always the embodiment. So if everyone is divine and royal and noble, in bliss and love always, this is the family of God. To be incorporeal is totally normal for them. Be immortal is normal. This is the civilization. This experience and this environment totally favors the true self. The true self becomes conscious. That is step 4. And for the true self, it is normal to be invisible. It is normal to be that invisible witness, to be like a tiny point. It is normal to be immortal. It is normal to belong to this sky, supreme sky. It is totally normal to belong to this great family. True family, meeting the family again. They rediscover the family. So happy to know they all are safe and immortal and beyond harm. And they all are happy and divine and royal. And they will remain like this forever. Such a good news. Invisible witness. He is aware his worthiness to be with God, worthiness to be loved by God, worthiness to have company of God. Invisible witness. It's a clean start. Invisible witness is not a continuation from the story. Invisible witness wakes up and it is a new start, clean start. Story is a separate thing. Story has a script. Witness is the observer of the story also. Observer of this supreme reality also. He is Ravan free. Invisible witness. Deeply aware of his life with God. That is his world. Just like for the supreme soul, it is strange to go in that story and create attachments. In the same way, for the invisible witness, it is strange to go in that story and shamelessly to claim anything there. Story means the images, they come and go, episodes finish. You can see that. You can see the absurdity of any attachments there. Understands he is completely separate from that story, independent from that story. As if the story is there, story may finish. That is a separate thing. He doesn't mix his life with the story. His reality is alokik. He silently is aware that everyone is lucky. Very lucky. And he knows he's very lucky. The whole this region is a positive region on every level. It is like a supreme reality. We are talking here life with God, not just praying to God, life with God. Belong to God, loved by God, company of God. You are in the region of truth. World where everyone is childlike, godlike, immensely lovely, immensely loving, forever. World that is viceless, no vices and no sorrows and no harm, beyond harm. No one needs to build castles or have some defense. No harm of the slightest nature can come. No concept. world that is beyond belief. And it is the reality. We do not see this as a meditation experience. The invisible witness doesn't see it as a meditation. This is his family, this is his life, this is his world. And it is forever. No one can change this either. No one can interfere. It is only we have the choice to see the whole thing upside down. That choice we have got. The truth is immensely beautiful, sublime, supreme. That's why everyone is lucky and self is lucky. He knows this. He also knows the highest intervention, highest cooperation anyone can be given. It is to help them see what they have got, see who they are, where they belong. Help them see this world the right way up. Come out of that Ravan's spell. See it the right way up. The prize is the first prize, highest, and it is eternal. Every second we are staying in this experience. Every second, invisible witness is conscious. He makes it easy for others to see this, for others to see their own truth. Every second, the invisible witness is conscious and just experiencing this wonderland. He contributes to the lighthouse effect. He creates light. And when there is light, it will become easy for others to see it also. As we continue on our journey, it is the journey of the invisible witness. He understands it is not just a word, he really is invisible. He remains the presence. Remains truly the observer of the great performance, great story, the foreign world. But he never loses himself in that foreign world. wherever in the world he may be, he knows nothing can be there to distract him from his home. He remains aware that he has a home. And he remains the guest, a visitor in that story world. Thank you. It may be the time for rooms, and happy with the arrangement.
Yeah, we can do that. Would you like to suggest a theme or a question or a reflection to begin the discussions?
Maybe just the title, the how to stay in the right intoxication, and detect
Detect the wrong
the
intoxication.
quote that was read right at the beginning. The one happiness takes you up, one happiness brings you down. To know the contrast. You can read that quote in the discussion based on that.
Yeah, there is happiness that makes us smaller and a happiness that makes us greater. And can we detect between the two? Nice. We'll just put it in the chat now. So maybe to create just a moment to reflect on that, and then we'll open up the rooms. Thank you. Welcome back to everyone. We took the chance for rooms and hope you had enough time. Let's take up just a moment or two for this beyond intoxication, the environment for the soul. Thank you. Just the thought came, as well as there's a happiness that makes us smaller and a happiness that makes us greater. There's also a happiness that simplifies and a happiness that complicates. No, I think just a feeling of home, just the simplicity is such an attraction because the mind as if needs that. It's like healing to come back to the simple. It would be really lovely if you wanted to share anything that came up for yourself personally or in the rooms. Do share in the chat. So I'll come back to Bridget and everyone.
Welcome back. And we'll be happy to hear any comments or any questions. Hear from you.
So a bit earlier, there was a question when bliss is supposed to be our or the soul's natural state, how does it differ from Ravan-like intoxication?
Yeah, sure. Now, what happens with Ravan is the undercurrent of the victim and the beggar is always there. So even in the midst of all kinds of achievements and everything going on well, he knows underneath there will be an end and there will be change and there can be, I need something more. That undercurrent is there. And that reduces the quality in some level. That is the difference. When it is the experience of the invisible soul, when that shift takes place from the false eye to the true eye, for the true eye, he understands this is right, this is natural and this is forever. In that true self, invisible witness, he knows deep inside, he knows he's never a victim and never a beggar. In the face of destruction and fire, he knows he's lucky. That is the nice aspect. Because it is all this fire and flood, that is all happening in the story, he knows this. That changes the quality of the experience. We all have this option to come in this maybe minutes, but to come to experience the soul happiness. It can get mixed. Ego will try and mix it. Happiness based on service and happiness based on someone's praise, or it happens in a spiritual context, but it is still Ravan's. But clean intoxication of the soul, this is our homework, to not to mix it, to see the alokik reality of all of us, and slippery, but we anyone can come in this. We went through these different steps just so that we can free ourselves from everything else, free ourselves properly from body consciousness.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe connected question here. How can we help somebody who's deeply in Ravan's intoxication?
Now, the absolute precondition here is he wants to help himself. That is the absolute precondition. If he doesn't want to help himself, then there is a huge limitation. But we can take the horse to water. That is, we can do. Horse has to drink, but we can at least take him to water. So if you create even a few minutes, even, let us presume that the language may not be working. And if the person has interest, that is a great news. But even if he has no interest and anti God and anti soul, no problem. We have the option to see the extraordinary truth of the individual, because the Ravan in him, is the one who will oppose. One who is opposing is the Ravan. At the same time, there is the angel there. Angelic soul is there. So you are seeing the angelic brother. You are acknowledging, even for 1 minute, just create this time. He doesn't need to be in front of you. Just create that time and acknowledge the immensely beautiful truth that this angelic brother is very lucky and immortal and loved by God, worthy to be loved by God. You are just seeing that extraordinary truth of his. It is not patronizing. It is not. It is just the truth. You are just seeing the fact, and that's fine. You just create this light, and it will start the process. This language of the soul reaches the soul, and it will guaranteed start the process. But then it is his journey afterwards. He wants to take it further. He has to overcome his own obstacles.
Yeah, thank you. So there are any other questions right now?
We were speaking earlier this godly intoxication, and we saw the dimension. Let me draw the image again. I like this image, as you notice, very much, and I like to show this image often. Because it is the biggest prize, and we need reminders of this. This is the world of the family and the father and ourselves. It's the eternal prize. If we create even few minutes just to see what we are talking here, if you go to any hospital, their big success is helping someone live 20 more years. Say someone has a cancer, 20 more years. It's like huge success, and if they have some therapy, their surgery, 20 years survival is like a seen as an achievement. They deserve prize. Here we are talking about immortality. You know, everyone is eternal. You yourselves are immortal. The whole world is trying to defend, protect. They are ready to fight wars and spend their huge budget for defense. Here, they are beyond harm. No harm can come, even the slightest. Even the words, someone they may not have guns, but they can do some harm. One is the harm through human beings, harm through matter, harm through animals. No harm, not even the words, because ego is not there. So when we are saying never a victim, it is really the beyond any harm of any kind. Just if you realize this, try and create this time. Never, never any harm, never a victim. What does it mean? That many things can happen: destruction, fire, flood. No harm at all. And the self, and this is what the invisible self is, but this is for everyone. What a great news for everyone. And otherwise, their whole life is just protect themselves. They want money so that they can build castles. That is all. And they can protect themselves from different kinds of harm. Here you understand that creates intoxication. You understand that everyone here is childlike. Childlike, nice word. What does childlike? Here we are meaning zero ignorance, zero harm, and if you are so secure, if anyone is very secure, then you don't need the cunningness, and you don't need to be streetwise. You can afford to be innocent. Cultures where there is security and there is the people, children or any adults, they are more innocent. Where there is all the kinds of criminals all around, they have to be. Even children are cunning, and there you see the sometimes nastiness in the children itself, cunningness, and they are streetwise. They know to tell lies, because they can't tell truth. They are in trouble. Whereas cultures where there is security, they are different. Here it is absolute security. And so there is absolute innocence. All are like this. The various words we heard today, that clean, swachha, with truth. There was a reference. If there is truth, there is. You don't need to prove truth. There will be fearlessness and there will be cleanliness. These beings, they are like this. That's what we mean by childlike. And it is like the fresh air. If there is one person like this, it changes your life. One person in your life who is even in that direction, little bit noble, little divine, and a little clean, you feel it is like he's from different planet. Here, all are like that. And all of this helps the true self to understand that personality and that what it means to be soul conscious, what it means, this divine reality, natural state. In this world, natural, we said universe is positive. If any aspect you are seeing, there is a reason for intoxication because it is a natural state. Those who have near-death experiences, they experience bliss. They experience intoxication. Why? All that has happened is they come out of this, artificial Ravan's fears and Ravan's worries. They just stepped out of it. They realized they have got nothing to die for. That they are invisible observers of this, and they can't die anymore. They experience bliss. Then they come back in the body. But the moment they are bodiless, the bliss follows. And this is the way this dimension is, reality is. Yes, so let us hear some thoughts from you.
Just that last point, often Baba plays with the word Nietzsche and Nasha, so the certainty and the intoxication. And perhaps, when we hear the NDE experiences, they just experienced it, that's it. They're not trying to prove anything. It happened in a passive way. And now our task, I suppose, is really, we can learn from also them, but from knowledge largely, to really have this certainty as a platform to jump into to have the environment, to create the environment as was done in the 4 steps. And very, very fascinating.
But one thing I might, emphasize in that, the language, to experience all this, even for 1 minute, 10 minutes, not just the words, the commentaries and all, that is one thing. But to come in the experiences of this, one has to make it soul-based effort rather than ego-based effort. Why we are emphasizing this? Ego is stubborn and ego will come. And our language, I, that language, even though we mean for the soul, but the language I and the word I is polluted. And it brings the ego with it. It is the old I, the ego I that we have used all this life. It will not just disappear. And it blocks the real experience. The whole, what we are aiming for, spiritual intoxication, that gets delayed. One simple precaution you might have noticed in our practice, that whole 10 minutes, 15-minute experience, we avoid the letter I, that invisible traveler, invisible witness, objective language, invisible witness. Deeper inside, that is you, but that it be the new I takes birth. The old I, if the moment you use the language I, the old I comes in. Here we are just seeing that invisible witness, and experience follows. Because we bypass Ravan that way, we bypass the ego. And then soul consciousness starts, and it will continue to become stronger. Every minute you come there, it will become stronger, and other experiences will follow. That whole supreme reality, including God, it is all right in front of us. The connecting factor is soul. Soul has to become conscious. Ego is not interested in it. Deep inside him, he is not looking for God. Ravan is not interested in Ram. Ravan wants to stay in that story. That is where his life is. His identities are based on the story. He wants intoxication from there. But he's okay to go through all this effort, when you are, but it is like a, reluctant, tapasvi when it is ego-based effort. When it is soul-based, it is from his heart. And so the experiences become natural. Excellent. So let us hear some thoughts from Sarah.
Seeing these cartoons flash across my mind of the reluctant tapasvi. Yeah, it's very interesting how Ravan doesn't want to. The third person practice, it's just so wonderful to separate and have this language hygiene, if you like, to know for the self that it's not accidental what's happening. It's very clear, the dynamic. And I suppose, one inquiry is around self-respect, the honor of the true self, the one that's conscious, the contrast, in order to keep coming back to that happiness. Because when we take the lower happiness, it's a sign of not having the high vision of the self. It's like the happiness of the bait. And so now there is maybe a quick question, and then maybe we finish with a drill. And it was just a confirmation, really, about the soul that comes into this drama. It's powerful. A soul, it means powerful, but it's like over time, Ravan's weaknesses get stronger, and the soul has to regain the power to become pure and blissful again. So would you say it's a game of claiming or getting back the inner power?
Yes.
Another way of saying. And it's interesting that soul is powerful, but it needs to not be tied by expectations and drama. Yeah. So
when he becomes conscious, he discovers his powers.
Different ways. Now we'll have a drill, but if there's something you want to share, like a final thought or homework, it's nice.
Certain things we spoke, 4 steps. Definitely go through those 4 steps. Great time. It may take 4 minutes, but if there is time, stay in the experiences, deeper experiences. That will be the spiritual experiences, the emerged form, will be experienced in that. Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you. We will meet tomorrow. We'll also just put the links to the recordings, English, Italian, and Spanish, and an attempt at the Spanish full 4 steps. Hopefully they are good. So we will just create now some time for drill from Madhavan for those who can stay. Thank you.
एक सेकंड में एक सेकंड हुआ, एक सेकंड में सारी सभा जो भी जहाँ है वहाँ मन